Hello, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the final day of week one of the League to the Past Randomizer League Season 3. I am James FNX, and joining me today in the booth on this channel is Worldwide Wimpy. Wimpy, how's it going today?
Going excellent. We're set for a very exciting race today between I Like Big Boots and Triple Dino Disaster. Relkin and ganonsgonewild over on the left. Yoshi and Shareen over on the right. This is the second of two matchups between these two teams, as Triple Dino Disaster ended up taking the first matchup earlier in the week.
Yeah, it was a good race here. Hope for a good race today. If you want to watch this race in German language, if you're checking out this channel and want to hear it in German, Speed Gaming Deutsch has this restream of this race as well if you want to check it over there. But if you want it in English, we're getting ready to start right about now.
Willkommen! Wie geht's? To our German listeners over at the Speed Gaming Deutsch. Here we go.
Here we go. It's an all dungeons co-op race. You're going to see our forerunners kind of split up here in the start to check as much of the territory as they can. We've got some pieces of heart in Link's house, or for heart containers in Link's house, and a mushroom in Sanctuary.
Yeah, as it looks like Relkin's going to go ahead and do a fake flipper here. Go over and do what we like to call the Houlihan room, where you pick up a free and easy 225 rupees by glitching yourself into a secret hole.
Yeah, this will end up keep taking Relkin over to those South Shore checks if he wants to, or over to Eastern Palace. Either way, while ganonsgonewild is going to do the Kakariko checks for I Like Big Boots, as we get a lumberjack check from both screens here. Just looks like a bottle. Meanwhile, Yoshi also doing that Houlihan start.
And inside this lost switch, we have two checks, the vanilla mushroom spot and a thieves den, as it's just a piece of heart on the mushroom spot. Shreen says, yeah, I'll go ahead and take that. Just in case, I'll pick up an extra heart somewhere. It's always nice to have. And a second one inside of the thief hideout.
Yeah, these all dungeon races ended up being very low percent oftentimes. So grabbing a piece of heart that's not that far out of the way, you're already in the location, doesn't necessarily hurt that much. You're not going to tell your partner to go grab it, but it doesn't hurt to grab it for yourself.
We get that Houlihan room from Shareen, exits Link's house, and decides, I'm going to hit up the village, as we see Yoshi going right toward Eastern Palace and Sashra's closet. Relkin heading south to the dam and South Shore, and ganonsgonewild farming up some bombs to go ahead and hit the village on the bottom left.
Yeah, with no bombs and no money in those early checks in the North Light world. Both our runners are going to grab some bombs real quick before heading into Kakariko to speed that process up. Meanwhile, we got a little bit of divergence from our other runners, Relkin and Yoshi. Relkin heading to the dam while Yoshi is hitting up Sarasala's hut. Gets gloves.
It's nice to have. You need those gloves to make any sort of progress. So having that knowledge is nice to have for Yoshi and Shareen.
You will notice that both our runners up top bought bombs. Relkin's going to use those bombs here in Mini Moldorm room, whereas Yoshi is now going to bust into the back of Escape.
As ganonsgonewild is going to head through the hedge maze, as Shareen is, as we find a lamp hidden behind this shrubbery, and a blue-haired boy who obviously likes to show you the way.
Yeah, lamp is something that our runners of this caliber wouldn't necessarily go out of their way for, but knowing that they're going to have to go through every dungeon, including Aghanim's Tower, having that lamp is just going to save a ton of time across the length of the race.
As we found in the back of Escape, key, map, and rupee, and the only thing in Mini Moldorm is a sharp object to poke things with. As we get our first sword of the seed on Relkin's side, Yoshi's heading toward the dam, and we enter Kakariko Village on the bottom of your screen.
Just big 20s in the big 20 in the tavern. Relkin's gonna make a check over an Ice Rod Cave. One of the slower checks with no boots, but If something's there, your team's definitely going to want to know about it.
Yep, it is a what we like to call a sphere 0 check, which means you have access to look inside of that cave as soon as you press start on your console.
Both Ganon's Gone Wild and Shareen making a little bit of a gamble here, not grabbing some bombs out of the storehouse and then getting lucky and getting some bombs here in Blind's Hut, 3 in the front and 3 in the back.
And Ice Rod Cave does have something for us for progression, more than likely, in having a Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, Cane of Samaria is going to be required for 2 dungeons, and it speeds up a couple others. It's one of the more important items to find early in the run.
Yeah. As we get a look inside Mini Moldorm for Yoshi, we know there's only one sharp object inside, some pieces of heart, I think also some roops. Nothing too heavy in progression outside of that sword, as Yoshi's having some trouble with that last Mini Moldorm. They can be jerks, but that's okay. We got them with an explosion.
Meanwhile, in Kakariko Well, Ganon's Gone Wild finds Bombos in the front, the very first chest. We'll see what else is in here. Some bombs, some rupees, and a shield.
As we get a hobo check from Relkin here using those fake flippers, just some explosions. It seems as though our hobo friend is an anarchist.
Both our runners get just enough money to be utterly disappointed by Bottle Vendor and the 20 rupees that they have for sale.
As we look inside the chicken hut, we find ourselves a full heart container. So outside that Bombos, our Kakariko village was relatively empty.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of teams send both runners to Kakariko at the start, and that would have been punished severely in this seed with just the one progression item today, one potential progression item.
From here, I would imagine our teams are going to be looking at Escape Sequence, as the back of Escape did have map, key, and that 20 bucks. So the front and Dark Cross with that lamp is in Logic, so more than likely that's where our progression is going to be. As Ganon Gone Wild elects to turn in his mushroom, the witch outside is going to brew that mushroom into an object. Could be a rupee, could be a heart container, could be a blue cane. We don't know. We're going to find out here.
It's just a big 20. So I imagine Ganon's Gone Wild is going to tell Relkin to hold on to that mushroom. They already have the Cane of Samaria. If they find Dark World access in a mirror, or if they find the hammer, they can use that to fake having the powder and get that magic bad item without finding that actual powder.
And Shareen's going to be heading over to pick up their Cane of Samaria. Interesting that they're electing to go ahead and doing this now. Once you find Flute, because Flute is definitely necessary for the seed, it being all dungeons, you're going to pick this up a little bit later when you're heading toward Mire. And as Yoshi's going over to go pick up that lamp, Relkin's going to go get the glove from Sasra's closet. Ganon's picking up his sword. Seeing a lot of overlay here. Just to remind you guys, you can follow these runners if you choose to do the !R command inside a Twitch chat. We'll give you links to each of our runners' Twitch channels. You can do the same for your commentating and tracking teams, !C, and our wonderful restreamer as well. Thank you, Math Girl, and our trackers today, Yonker's wife, and Reg.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Ganon's Gone Wild, he had some problems there with Mini Moldorm Cave. Ran out of bombs, kept one in his inventory so he can go do Ice Rod Cave here and get that Cane of Samaria. But with no magic, he isn't going to be able to come back and use that cane to clear out this room. Does manage to avoid all those crabs. One hit from one of those crabs would have killed Ganon's Gone Wild and probably would have sent him on a little brief spiral.
As we get our uncle checks, there's that blue cane in the uncle chest. I did not see if there was anything important on our actual sleeping uncle.
Meanwhile, Relkin's going to go to Dark Cross from the backside. I don't know if I'd do that. You're going to want to check the front of escape here. You're starting to run out of locations, and checking Dark Cross from the front is a bit quicker than going from the back.
Without a mirror, then you have to sit and do a death warp. If you're already in the back, just go ahead and do it if you don't have that mirror. Just my philosophy. So we just find 20 bucks in Dark Cross. That just ensures I Like Big Boots are just gonna be able to do the front and say, yep, something's there.
Ganonsgonewild is going to go off and get a glove. And we'll see if he ends up hopping into Eastern Palace. Relkin bailed out after getting that glove.
As we do find that Moon Pearl in the escape sequence, we have a glove and a Moon Pearl so far. Looking for a second glove or a hammer to get Dark World access, but with a cape or a Master Sword with that lamp in hand and Moon Pearl, this could be an AGA 1 seed. Now we are required to go ahead and clear that dungeon, but I'm assuming our runners are going to be more than happy to do that last, as we find our second pair of gloves in the escape sequence, so that will be our Dark World access.
Yeah, AGA 1 being happening before the end of the seed, still not put to bed quite yet. There's still a chance of Hammer being in a totally obnoxious location, but that is logical Dark World access for Triple Dino Disaster.
As we get our top screens going up the mountain, we have an Eastern dip and a finishing of the escape sequence here on Shareen's side. Looking to set up that death warp with that half a heart. Just finding 50 bucks. And takes an explosion to the face to go ahead and check Dark Cross. And Yoshi's not far behind, going to go get those Titans mitts.
Yeah, meanwhile, Relkin heading up Death Mountain to do just a couple checks here. The Old Man and inside Spectacle Rock. Ganonsgonewild did end up going into Eastern Palace, and right now we know that Dark World access is not here. Doesn't mean there isn't anything else here. There's 3 items in Eastern Palace, but this doesn't appear to be the direction they need to be going, as Relkin doesn't find anything good in Spectral Rock and heads back down to Link's house.
Yeah, with the knowledge of having Titans mitts, Titans mitts for the moment doesn't really do too much other than give you that Dark World access, but a little bit later on you do need them, and it's going to open up a whole bunch of combined checks up the mountain, open up a little bit of the routing options in Dark World if you happen to find Mirror or anything like that. Just makes life just a little bit that much easier.
Yeah, they're getting paid off for putting off a peek at Death Mountain for as long as they have, as they're going to have a lot more options open for them and continue to put that off until they have either a hook shot or a hammer or mirror or something to kind of open up checks up there.
As Ganonsgonewild continues his progression through, we find a second sword in the big chest of Eastern Palace. That means the left-hand side, I Like Big Boots, are going to have access to a Master Sword, should they elect to go ahead and do that. Now, that could be big information to have if you don't find access over to Pod relatively soon. You still might need that Master Sword to get access through AGA 1 to get over to Catfish, Pyramid, and the Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, it's a potential thing, but they're gonna find their mitts in their Moon Pearl pretty soon, and they'll have plenty of other options. Also, if they know how to do a current jump, which I assume most of the runners here have that sort of level of skill, they're not going to actually need to do Aghanim to get across there.
Yeah, at this level, the only reason why you would need AGA 1 if you don't find Hammer is if Hammer is in the red crystals, which we do have a lot of early red crystals here with Eastern and Tower of Hera.
Yeah, Hammer could be locked in that Pyramid Fairy, and then that would sort of force either a very intricate fairy revival or going through AGA 1.
As we get Shareen entering into the Skullwoods area and dungeon, not a bad dip to do. You have yourself your red cane. You can lay down a block here, check the check, and do the front. As we get a map check here, pendants in Pod, Skullwoods, and Swamp. Pod being the green pendant, and then it's all blue crystals from there. As we get a village check here. Just a full heart container in our chess game.
Yeah, I like this routing from Triple Dino Disaster. You're gonna send one person through Skull Woods, see if there's anything you need to actually grab in the front, and the other person can either hop into Thieves Town or head directly to Hype Cave, and let the other person catch up on the dungeon.
And Shareen finds only a map in the first chest in the front. And there's that mirror in the left side of Skullwoods. Gonna make routing in a smith chain super easy for Yoshi and Shareen should they elect to do so. Getting that mountain access up to Hera.
Yeah, that's a really good location for that mirror for Triple Dino Disaster. They're gonna be able to, between the two of them, just clear out this entire left side of the map in the Dark World very quickly. I think one person is just gonna head down, do those mirror checks, head over to Hype Cave, and the other person's gonna head into Thieves Town after that. I would expect Yoshi to head to Thieves Town and Shareen to head straight down. Shareen is also remembering to pick up a look at this bumper ledge, which has been the bane of some teams in this week.
Yeah.
Today it's also going to be a bane, as there's a fire rod up there.
Alright, so we know access into the back of Skullwoods and the potential to clear Turtle Rock is locked by that cape. As it looks like Shareen's going to go ahead and take a peek at Graveyard Ledge as well. As Yoshi picks up the mirror inside of Skullwoods. As Ganon's Gone Wild is the first of I Like Big Boots to head into the Dark World. We'll see where he decides to go ahead and go from here. And does his map check and is going to head into the Village of Outcasts.
Yeah. So Ganon's Gone Wild heads south for Village Outcasts. He'll leave Skullwoods for Relkin when he gets up there, which is kind of unfortunate that we know the mirror's there.
As it looks like Yoshi's electing to go ahead and do South Dark World, maybe letting Shareen pick up the tail end and do Thieves Town for Triple Dino Disaster.
And Relkin is going to make the Agam Tower 1 climb right now and head over to Pod, which is once again a bit unfortunate, leaving that mirror in the ether.
Speaking of ether, we find that on the dig game here in South Dark World. But not a bad play to go ahead and do Aga 1 if you already know you're kind of hard locked at the moment for Pod. Pod has 5 items. It opens up another portal to Dark World for your team to kind of manage around. You also have Pyramid and Catfish you can check.
Yeah, I don't hate the play. It also with 2 easy to obtain red crystals, it'll make getting that big bomb quicker and that ends up being something you want to do.
As we're getting a look into Thieves Town from Shareen and Ganon's Gone Wild so far. Just a bug net inside of our home for evil people, because Thieves Town is not fun.
Not without boots, it's not fun. It's a dungeon I enjoy a lot if I can go fast, but it is a very slow dungeon if you're having to walk.
As we find Yoshi picking up that purple chest. Nothing on our dwarven frogsmith friend today. Gonna be checking K45 Stumpy and turning in our purple chest. So we find a book inside of Cave 45.
Real great timing for that book. Yoshi will get to loop in a check of the Bombos tablet as well with all these other checks.
Our stump friend that normally has a shovel for us has a blue potion for us today. Very considerate of him. Those are expensive.
Those are expensive. And that is our first bottle, so that'll open up a sick kit chat later. It'll be a little awkward for Triple Dino Disaster, as Yoshi will have a reason to head back to that area later, but Shareen is not going to have any really reason to head to Village of Outcasts at all for the rest of the seed.
As we're getting our first look inside of Hype Cave today. 5 checks, all clustered together. As we find our ice rod. A piece of heart.
Ice rod, the bane of most runners, trying to, because that's an item that could just be literally anywhere. Good to get that one out of the way. Nothing else in Hype Cave, unfortunately, for our runners.
Yeah, 3 out of 10 hype. Not impressed. Come back to me later. As we find a green goo inside of Blind's cell, so that's our second bottle of the seed. Luckily for Shareen, having that mirror, once they do get that glass work, is going to be able just to mirror in front of that poor sick child's home and say, here you go, I've got some green stuff for you, drink it down, no thanks, and we'll get an item for it. As we have Relkin going through Aga 1.
On Yoshi's side, that purple chest contains 1 hook shot. So this is lined up real well for Triple Dino Disaster, and having Relkin head over to Pod, there's not a lot that can be over there at this point. A bow, a hammer, but there's not a ton that's going to be over there that they have not found already in this this Western Dark World.
Yeah, the hookshot opens up all of your Death Mountain checks with those Titansmiths and Mirror. Gonna be able to get all of that grouped together nicely as we get our first blind kill from Ganon's Gone Wild. Just gets rewarded with 10 arrows. We find on the pyramid our single arrow of destiny. So we get an Agina check. It doesn't look like Agina in his cave in the desert has too much for us.
No, but it turns out that didn't look like we have found a ton of things other than that potion in Thieves Town. As Blind just has 10 arrows.
As Yoshi's gonna head into a desert dip with that book. Makes a lot of sense. You get to see if your boot's locked. Get to see if there's anything really interesting on the ledge.
Yeah, there's not a ton that they're looking for at this point. They need a cape. They need a bow. They may need boots. They'll find that out here. If they, for most likeliness, if they need boots, then there still could be a big key on Ganon's tower. And they need flippers and a hammer.
As Catfish just has a red boomerang for us today. One of those items that isn't super helpful unless you want to check to see what a sun prize is in a location that most runners go ahead and leave for a last location.
Yeah, this routing has ended up super unfortunate for I Like Big Boots, as Ganon's Gone Wild is going to probably abandon Skullwoods for a while. He's gonna grab the frog and take it on a little tour of South Dark World, and Relkin is far away from the action. They've got to be hoping that Pod pays off huge for him.
Yeah, right now Pod, if it has a bow and hammer, is going to be huge for them. Unfortunately, Relkin does not have a potion-to-potion glitch, so he's going to be hard-locked. If there's a small key in the front of Pod, and it's just going to say, well, I guess I'm heading to the village. As Ganon's Gone Wild elects to go ahead and head north here. Gonna pick up Jeremiah He is a bullfrog, but he will soon be a good friend of ours. Taking him on a world tour, showing him what Dark Hyrule looks like. He doesn't like it. He wants to be back into a dwarf.
Meanwhile, we got a bunch of information from Yoshi's side as the flute was stuck on the Torch and Desert Palace, which means not only is that book required, but boots are required.
Book is in Cave 45.
So I like Big Boots. Missing out on that mirror is just getting worse and worse.
And Shareen turns in their dwarf. This is completely mandatory as the hook shot is on our purple chest. So you're just gonna have to go, yep, pick you up, leave the dwarf, not pay him 10 rupees to make whatever it was that they made for him. Obviously not necessary. And turn in to go get that hook shot.
Yeah, now they also have the information that the book's required, so Shareen can pick that up on the way down. And yeah, this is working out really well for Triple Dino Disaster.
Yeah, right now, relkin and ganonsgonewild really have to hope the hammer is in pod. And that flips aren't in Death Mountain or somewhere along their path, that flips are hard locked somewhere, hammer locked. As ganonsgonewild is going to turn in his dwarven friend here, find out that it's nothing. Now, what will help is if he elects to go hit Dark World, pick up the purple chest, and find the hookshot that way. Yes, it's a little bit of a longer route, but it's going to allow you to go ahead and get that hookshot and hit Dark Death Mountain at the same time, roughly as it looks like Shareen and Yoshi are going to be doing.
Yeah, that's still going to push him further and further away from that mirror until Relkin heads over to this area. Yoshi, using some Ice Rod strats, gets Landmolus down. It's didn't want to do the NMG fight. Not having a bow makes it even worse than the NMG fight, honestly. Did decide to crack that blue potion. That we'll see if that comes back later.
As you see, Relkin electing to do what is called the Mimic Clip. If you grab onto the wall here and move the Mimic against the wall and kind of do this slideshow here and push right at the same time, you can gradually move that red Mimic into the wall, his new home. Get into your home, Mimic. You like it there. Get in there. There we go. And he disappears, and we're able to get the rest of this right-hand side of pod.
Yeah, meanwhile, Yoshi heading over to Tower Hera. Has everything needs to do that, so shouldn't be any issues there. Shareen, I assume, is going to climb the mountain as well and head straight over to Paradox Cave.
Yep, divide and conquer this mountain. One goes to do the dungeon, the other go do the checks. So we get a look at Ether tablet here, just some loose change we found ruffled behind this tablet here. The actual tablet is nothing, it's just kind of tucked in a little nook underneath it. As ganonsgonewild heads into Skullwoods, he's going to find that mirror here relatively soon and say, well, I need to go do my mirror checks, as we get a Tower of Hera and soon East Death Mountain check, and Relkin going through our Palace of Darkness, going to be possibly doing a hammer jump here once they find the big key. As it looks like Yoshi's elected to go ahead and do the tile room here. The only reason to do tile room here is if the big key's in it. Electing to say, I'm just going to go ahead and full clear in one go, not worry about doing a Hera pot and coming back inside and doing this all over again.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, Shareen's going to be spending a bunch of time doing these East Death Mountain checks, and you spend 30 seconds here to gather more information between your two teammates for what they need to do on the other side. I actually think it's fine to do this.
As we get our way through the dark maze here on Relkin's side, finding more rupees. Nothing so far in Palace of Darkness that's gonna shift this race a little bit, except for the flippers inside of the dark maze in the bottom right-hand side. Now, if there's a hammer inside of here, this is a huge play. Nope, just a map. But the flippers are nice information to have.
They're nice information. The big problem is, though, is that it's very unlikely for that hammer to be in one of those dungeons that the flippers locks logically. It's ice and swamp, and if it is an ice, Yoshi and Shareen can get there by fake flippering anyways. So I don't know how much that's going to pay off.
It depends upon how quickly you go and use those flippers to get Ice Palace access. With the relkin, that does make all of the checks inside a little bit easier to get to. There is one hard locked by hammer, and the boss itself is hard locked. But you can kind of route your way 2 different ways in Ice Palace and get the majority of checks there.
Yeah, the Canis Mario will help routing a lot. We'll see if Relkin goes and does Purple Chest after grabbing this mirror.
Is
Ganon's Gone Wild decided to just bail out, and
is he doing AGA 1?
It looks like it.
This is an interesting play with only flippers being found in pod.
Yeah, I don't believe that Ganon's Gone Wild checked Bumper Ledge. Hopefully Relkin remembers too.
Yeah, this is strange. For Ganon's to commit to doing AGA 1 here is very unusual, especially since he does have the mirror and Titan's Mitts that does open up Tower of Hera for you, that opens up the remainder of Smith Chain for you. This is definitely a weird way to kind of route this in, but it may pay off with something in those flippers checks for you. As we find our cape in Hookshot Cave.
That means it's the required double dip of Dark Death Mountain. That cape's going to unlock the Fire Rod, and then the Fire Rod will let you get back and do Turtle Rock later. Also, Relkin did not check. I think Relkin got the mirror and just bailed out as well. So he also did not check Bumper Ledge.
As it looks like Relkin here is going to be jumping into the flippers checks. Again, not a bad idea to do. As we find the hammer on Hylian Island.
That is the payoff. They may have peeked at that earlier and knew that that was important.
Yeah, that's huge for I Like Big Boots. As Shareen and Yoshi have the hookshot and fire rod, that's going to allow them to go ahead, and the bow. So they're going to be able to go do Eastern. They've got Skullwoods. They can do a whole bunch of stuff once they come back up the mountain with Turtle Rock. But we know where that hammer's at, and it's on Hylian Island. So you're going to have to do some chicanery or AGA 1 here to go get those flippers to go get that hammer.
Yeah, that is quite the sequence. I wouldn't put it past Yoshi and Shareen to do some chicanery, do that current jump and get over there.
The question
but
becomes...
it's difficult, right? Because you know, if they've scouted it too and they know that the hammer is on Hylian Island, I don't know if they have or not, but if they have, it's real hard to try and commit going to pod to hope there's flippers there.
As we saw Shareen taking an unfortunate fall from our Moldorm friend in the center hole. That sent you down not 1 levels, but 2. You're gonna have to reclimb back up, reset the whole boss fight, and get back in. Moldorm is our second most heavily RNG fight here. He's not hard, just tedious. You gotta hit that tail. In Fighter Sword, it's 5 spins or slashes with... I think it's 8 total slashes, and
no, it's 6 hits no matter what you do with the Fighter Sword.
That's right.
Pokes, stabs, and slashes all do the same damage. And after that 5th one, Moldorm gets a little angry, a little upset.
Yep. As we see Relkin head into Hype Cave, gonna find the Ice Rod. Be interesting to see if they go left, pick up Cave 45 for that book.
Real nice there by Shareen, popping out that cape to use its invulnerability so they can make sure you can get that spin off for the kill.
As it looks like East Side Death Mountain outside of that cape is just not paying off for our Triple Dino Disasters outside of Half Magic in Spiral Cave.
Yeah, that's plenty. Shareen will get... Shareen, I think, already got the cape. Half magic is not really necessary. So I think that's still plenty of things to find for him.
So it looks like Yoshi's going to be heading into Aga 1 here. No other reason to be coming this way unless that's what you're going to be doing.
Yep, it looks like they're going to send Yoshi over to do Pod and Eastern with that bow, and Yoshi will find the flippers there. Meanwhile, Shareen is going to grab this fire rod and finish off Skull Woods. And then after that, the world is kind of really open to Shareen. You got he'll find their flippers. Shareen will head over there, get the hammer, and then that'll be just about it for this seed, other than the boots.
Yeah, I'm thinking Relkin might be looking to do a Smith Chain completion with K45. There's no reason for Relkin to do Thieves Town just yet, because we know where we need to kind of go with the rest of the items, and there's nothing in Thieves Town super interesting at the moment. Outside of that, it's that's what I'm thinking is why he's doing K45. He's gonna have to take a walk back anyway if he grabs Chesty, our purple chest. If not, he may have just completely forgotten. We'll see. We will see. No, Relkin's heading up.
With that hammer, he's got hammer pegs, so he's just not going to forget about the chest. It's right here.
Well, you need to turn in the smith in order to get the purple chest. And he didn't grab our frog friend.
Ah, fair.
So this is interesting. At this point, you know your partner didn't turn in the purple chest, and you're kind of already in this area. No reason not to turn him in, grab the purple chest, and go turn it in a little bit later.
Not the payoff Relkin was hoping for with these hammer pegs, just a heart container.
Yeah, I always say when I'm kind of showing new people how to go through randomizer, just if you're in an area and you can do 100% of the checks in an area, you do them. Just might as well. As we find Quake inside a C-shaped house, so we will not have any sort of medallion hunts, as we found all of our medallions in total. So that's nice to have. Not gonna have to worry about, oh man, where did we leave an item for medallion? Oh no.
Relkin's gonna do this this fake powder. If this ends up being something that is, it's kind of absurd if there's an item here on Magic Bat.
But what if boots, though? Let's see what our sacrificial bat has for us today. It is just some air.
Yeah.
Skewers for
it would
our
have had to have
vampire
been
god.
boots or the second bow or a sword to really pay off there.
As we're getting a Mothula fight on Shareen's side. As Ganon's Gone Wild is going to go ahead and get their hammer here momentarily, as Yoshi's heading through Aga 1 to go check the pod checks for triple dino disaster. Mothman goes down without much of a fight, gives us a heart container and a red pendant. As Relkin is heading south again, let's see if he picks up K45. I need to be a little bit more south for K45, but dude, nope. Yep, okay, perfect. As we're gonna get a ped check. Just triple explosions, so no need to pull ped today unless it's gonna be completely blind.
Yep. Relkin's gonna get this book, and we'll see if he continues on to desert.
Yeah,
that purple chest is still just long gone for I Like Big Boots, as well as Bumper Ledge. They still have not, I don't think they've scoped out and seen the fire rod up there yet.
Yeah, both of our runners over on the Big Boot side have done parts of the Smith chain, just not completing it out, and that's just gonna hurt them the longer and longer they wait to go get it.
Yeah, Relkin immediately taking this book over to Bombo's tablet, and I would assume to hop into desert after that.
The only reason why I would think Relkin's not picking up Purple Chest is he's assuming Gan has went and turned it in. That would be my only thought in it. You have the mirror right now. You have everything you could loop this tablet in with the Purple Chest. That's tough. This is tough.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Yoshi bringing Kiki Jiki, the wallet breaker, over to go into pod.
Shareen is heading through their Aga 1 tower. Yoshi and Shareen are going to be super happy to find the flippers inside a pod, especially since they both have the bow. It'll be interesting to see if they do have the information as to where that hammer's at, as ganonsgonewild heads into Ice Palace. Do have that Bombos, have our hammer. Don't have the hookshot, but we do have a relkin to go ahead and glitch through a wall and see what's inside of Ice Palace.
Yeah, and be able to full clear this. With Bombos, doesn't have to worry about the magic bar too much. Also has a blue potion still, so unless the Cold Stare fight gets a little out of control for ganonsgonewild, this should be a an easy clear. Also getting the big time item drop off these pen gators.
Yeah, the Penguinators are not anything to mess with, especially if you don't have a hook shot and only Master Sword. They take 2 spins from Master Sword to die, and they eat Fire Rod shots if you have Fire Rod. They're just not fun enemies. They're mean, and they slide, and they move, and just are jerks. As Yoshi and Shareen are going to pick up the information that there is a sword in the big chest of Eastern Palace with that completion with the bow. We'll see what else is inside Eastern here momentarily. Though I do think we found all the items early on, so... Relkin finds the big key in Desert Palace. Soon going to discover that our flute is on the torch stand. So we are going to be hard boots locked.
Yeah, and this is a really favorable Eastern layout for our runners. You're not gonna have to see that vanilla big key location, which is not hard to get to, just very slow.
Yep, as we see Yoshi head to the back, gonna kill some Armos. Finding triple explosions inside of that U room with the switch chest in Ice Palace. Relkin thinking about, what was in that big chest? Oh, flutes on the torch. Oh boy, this is bad. Where's Hookshot? Where's all of our stuff?
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of a smart idea for Relkin, knowing the flute's there, to not bother with beating Landmo at this point. It doesn't have an item. It isn't a red crystal. You're gonna have to go back to this area once you get the boots to go get your flute, and then head into Mire, and you can mirror back and clean up Landmo from that.
Just unfortunate for Relkin here, going up the mountain. No hook shot, so that cape's going to be elusive for I Like Big Boots. There's nothing really
It's
else.
not its the key. Yeah, they won't be able to get cape from Hookshot Cave. We will be able to get across though, and get that half magic, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it still is going to leave a required item out of reach.
Yeah, they're going to pick up the bow, which is going to push them to go finish Pod and Eastern, but really that hook shot's a big item right now. Once Shareen and Yoshi get that hammer, they're going to be able to do Swamp. Going to open up kind of the rest of the world for them to do some really high density item checks.
Yeah, as soon as they find these flippers, I think you're going to see one person head to ice and one person head to swamp and see which one has the boots.
Cape is in the second chest of Hookshot Cave. And it's hard locked by that hookshot, so unless, our runners find boots before then and decide they want to try and hover, that's kind of stuck there for a while. And unfortunately, that hook shot is locked behind purple chest as we get ourselves a cold stare fight.
Yeah, Ganon's gone wild. Unfortunately, I'm going to crack that blue pot immediately so he can use his Bombos medallion. We'll have just a hammer and a master sword to try and finish this off with.
Yeah, that not too bad. You could be worse off with equipment. You could just have fighter sword and hammer here and just be like, well, I have no reach at all. But master sword takes a little bit of time to go ahead and do significant damage to cold stare. You kind of just hoping to kill one, and then you have enough room, and you're kind of okay.
Looks like Ganon's gone wild did have a second blue potion, but has to crack it pretty early. Can take 2 hits here from cold stare.
Yeah, 4 hearts of damage from each and every hug, plus you have those icicles falling down. That adds in another layer of 1 more heart, but it takes down cold stare here with that hammer and sword, gets himself a map and our second crystal.
So it doesn't look like Ice paid off with anything significant. We may see Ganon's Gone Wild just continue on and hop into Swamp without the hook shot at this point. And if Boots are in front of Swamp, that could be beneficial.
What if Boots and Pyramid Fairy?
Then this is not going to be a close race.
Yeah, that's... Boots right now are kind of the deal breaker right now. You find the boots, you get the flute, and everything else is kind of falls into place. Shareen and Yoshi, once they find those boots, are going to be jetting through the seed. Ganon's Gone Wild and Relkin are going to have to find something soon that breaks this open for them. Hook shot would definitely help. Boots would be the biggest thing. Getting the information that Fire Rod is on Bumper Ledge would also help, if not just knowing it's there.
I'm not really sure what Ganon's Gone Wild is doing here. I guess he hasn't actually climbed the mountain.
Up the mountain.
Doesn't have the old man check yet. I don't know about this one.
Yeah, you're covering bases that your partner is covering. Yes, it gets you the bow, but you've already seen all the items in Eastern. You've already seen all but 1 item in Pod. That's 1 check. There's other checks that you could do that are just 1 check.
Yeah, we don't know. We're not sure if Triple Dino Disaster know about the hammer yet. We'll find out soon if they make a beeline over to Lake Hylia. But there's a lot that I Like Big Boots doesn't know about, and they're very far away from those right now.
Yeah, Shareen heads back. He's gonna go ahead and, or she, or they, are going to go ahead and get those flippers. Let's see where Yoshi heads. If he heads straight toward Hylian Island, uses that mirror, they're gonna have a hammer. And then at that point, Ganon's Gone Wild are going to be playing lots and lots of catch-up. And, yep. Going right for Hylian Island. Oh, gonna check Hobo first.
Yeah, might as well get this water check done. This is the quickest way to do Hobo. That tells me that they don't actually know that Hammer's on Hylian Island, but they're going to find out pretty quickly.
Well, they are still looking for boots. They do know they need them. So even if you do know Hylian Island has the hammer, might as well check this Hobo spot in case it's boots. But with the hammer, fire rod, ice rod, red cane, you have all 3 medallions. The next place of progression for Triple Dino Disaster is gonna be Turtle Rock, and it's gonna be Swamp Palace.
And there's that hammer, and so yeah, Triple Dino Disaster is now just boots away from knowing where everything they need is at. Meanwhile, on I Like Big Boots side, they still need to find that hook shot and that fire rod, and they are both sitting in Northwest Dark World. Looks like Ganon's Gone Wild is going to join relkin up here in Tower of Hera. And Yoshi is making a beeline to Swamp.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yoshi has yet to pick up the fire rod, so leave Shareen to go do Turtle Rock after they're going to get their flippers and hammer. Shareen just is going to need to kill Helmasaur coming back here to Pod, which really honestly is not that far out of the way, especially if you're looking for just one more item.
Yeah, there's 6 items in Swamp. Tons of opportunities for those boots to be in here. And also with the 2 fetch quest items still sitting out here in Shovel and Powder. We know the Powder won't pay off, but Shovel could still end up leading to that item as well.
Shareen picks up their flips, saves and quits. Going to go get that hammer and go back up Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, I would suspect Shareen's going to go head to Ice as soon as he gets that. The hammer is right there. And then Turtle Rock will be left to Yoshi once he gets done with Swamp, most likely.
No, you send someone up to Turtle Rock right out after you can pick up that hammer. Just hoping the boots are here in Swamp first, then you can kind of save Turtle Rock for later as your last dungeon before GT. But Triple Dino Disaster kind of right now firmly in the driver's seat. That hook shot being so elusive for I Like Big Boots.
Yeah, Shareen is heading straight to Ice, and I think the value of hoping that Turtle Rock is just your last dungeon outweighs it having 2 more items in Ice here.
Yeah, you can get done with Ice relatively quickly. With that Redcan Fire Rod, you're kind of okay. For the moment, just go ahead and knock it out, check all your checks, and say, okay, well, I did Ice Palace, you finished up Swamp, boots aren't there, okay. Boots have to be in Turtle Rock or in Pyramid Fairy at this point.
Yep, and we'll see Yoshi almost certainly check Pyramid Fairy as soon as he gets done with Swamp. Meanwhile, Ganon's Gone Wild is going to take on Landmo here, and relkin is going to head over to, I guess, finish up Pod, do Eastern, and then past that, not sure when he's going to head back over to the west side of the world. They just, leaving those 2 locations orphaned, it's very hard for them to then go back, because that's literally the only 2 things that are over there for them at this point.
Yeah, and you've already been over there twice. Specifically, you had Ganon's Gone Wild go down without the mirror, and you had relkin go up with the mirror to make your routing, you know... Is it the fastest way to turn in those items? No. But is it in logic? Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And just leaving Purple Chest, just saying Purple Chest can't have anything. They've already done hammer pegs too, so they're just... It's so unlikely that they're ever going to head back over and check out that Purple Chest at this point until they have little or nothing left to do.
Yeah, that's a tough item to orphan off. You had early access to it with the Titan Smiths. Without the mirror, yeah, it's a little bit of a walk to turn in the Smith, walk back, use portal, grab the Purple Chest, save and quit, walk on down. Yeah, that time makes sense. But with relkin going up with the mirror, have him turn in Smith, have him turn in, oh, there are the boots on Argus. So that's full item go mode for Triple Dino Disaster. As soon as Shareen's done here in Ice Palace, you're going to see Shareen go get those boots. And then we're just going to be clearing out dungeons over on the right-hand side.
Yep, Triple Dino Disaster off to the races. Yoshi is going to immediately head over to Desert, get this flute. Has already beaten Landmo, so just a save and quit and a quick run over from the Sanctuary Way to unlock everything for this seed. And gets to go pick up his Fire Rod relatively quickly after that, too.
As Ganon's Gone Wild is going through Swamp House, gonna find their boots on Argus. Unfortunately, they're gonna be peeking through left side swamp, more than likely looking for Fire Rod, maybe looking for that hook shot. Just without that hook shot, he can't complete the back, and that's where his boots are at. Gonna have to go turn in that purple chest, and it's gonna be a last location. And I would also say Fire Rod's gonna be a last location, even if they know it. That cape's up on Hookshot Cave. You have to go back up the mountain to get that Fire Rod. And you're gonna have everything else done in the overworld below the mountain before that.
Yeah, the only saving grace, and it's a very, very small one, is this flute is going to push Ganon's Gone Wild, or the boots are going to push Ganon's Gone Wild back into Kakariko to turn that flute.
Can't get the boots, no hook shot.
The boots. Oh right, yeah. This is terrible. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's gonna be checking left side swamp, gonna find that it's absolutely nothing useful outside of maybe silvers or maybe a sword. But even at that point, that's not saving you any time.
No, this is a lot of races look less close than they are. This one, I don't think this one is any less close than it looks.
Yeah, that hook shot on purple chest is a hard break for I like big boots. I mean, this makes sense density-wise, but you've had that purple chest in logic since you've had Dark World access. Our Dark World access was Titan's Mitts.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes. That was like 10 minutes in. That's been open for nearly about 45 minutes now.
Yeah, and Swamp was hard locked by flips because Hammer was on Hylian Island. Yeah, this is tough. We're gonna have to ask Big Boots if Relkin assumed Ganon's turned in purple chest or not, because there's no reason for Relkin to have skipped that when he went and did his Smith chain stuff.
Yeah, especially with checking hammer pegs, you have to be in that area anyways. That is I mean, they may have just made a conscious decision to say we're willing to lose if purple chest is something, and here we are. But
the chat's bringing up they just made it a conscious decision, but at that point you're checking hammer pegs, you're checking K45, you're walking down that way again anyway, and he checked the tablet. There's no reason not to have added in the purple chest at that point. Absolutely none. So I'm just interested if they just decided if it's last location on purple chest we lost, or Relkin assumed Ganon's turned in the purple chest. That's the only things I can think of. It's also possible he forgot their seeds have been making people dumb this week, and it's been hilarious and tragic at the same time. So and Shareen's just gonna go right to the back here at Swamp Palace, kill Argus, gets those boots. Yoshi's clearing out Thieves Town currently right now. Going to go get that Fire Rod soon after, go clear out Skull Woods. I would imagine Shareen's gonna go clean up Pod, go do Desert, and then we're just gonna be off to the races.
yeah, it'd be interesting to ask them how much co-op Relkin and Ganon's Gone Wild had done in practice for this week too, as that may have just been a miscommunication between them. Ganon saying Smith chain was done when only Smith was done, and Relkin just never verifying.
Yeah, that's it. There's three possibilities. It was assumed by Relkin that Ganon's Gone Wild turned in the chest. Relkin forgot, or Relkin and Ganon's Gone Wild elected to say, well, if that's our last location, it's our last location. We'll see relatively soon, as if it is their last location and one of them assumed they turned in purple chest, you'll see lots of staring at map, lots of not moving, lots of, oh, this is time that they're discussing what they didn't check.
Yeah, Relkin's getting us a look at the big bomb here. No, we're only going to be able to find a sword or bow in here. Nothing of essential value.
Yeah, as Ganon's is,
Wouldn't surprise you with this seed to see a shovel in here just to continue the descent into madness.
yeah, fortunately for I Like Big Boots, they've already done a powder check with the mushroom and relkin spoofing the powder. But yeah, this is not where we need Ganons and relkin to be. Ganons looks like he's going to be heading to somewhere. Maybe turning in purple or Big Red Bomb with relkin. Heading back up into the village, maybe?
Yeah, it didn't look like there's anything of value in Pyramid Fairy.
They've already checked Bombo's tablet, I believe. There's no reason to.
Relkin grabbed it and got a piece of heart off of it before heading into the desert area.
Yeah, it just seems as though Ganons and relkin are a little lost at the moment. Unless they finally put together, purple chest.
Yeah, I think this is the purple chest play here from ganonsgonewild.
Yeah, they're both heading toward Dark World, heading toward that portal. They've already done Skullwoods. They've already done Thieves Town. They've already done the village. This is getting purple chest and piecing out and turning it in and finding the hook shot.
Yeah, we'll see if relkin also checks Bumper Ledge on his way around here. Heading that way. So they're gonna find both their items here. Unfortunately, with Cape Hardlock behind that hook shot, it's still going to be quite a while before one of these two runners actually grabs it. And actually, relkin is heading...
Rechecking Graveyard Ledge,
Graveyard
maybe?
Ledge. Graveyard Ledge and not checking Bumper Ledge.
I swear they've already checked this, but maybe they orphaned it off.
I don't think they actually checked Graveyard Ledge. I don't think either runner's been in this area. There's that hook shot for ganonsgonewild. We'll see if he heads back into Swamp.
Yeah, he's right here. You might as well head back into Swamp just to finish it out, see what you got. They do know that the flute is on the torch in Desert, so it'll make a lot of sense for him to go, once he finishes that, to go ahead and do Desert, get that flute, and see if their cape is going to be in Mire area, as relkin's heading back left. This is more than likely your bumper check.
No. They know the hook shots in purple chest, so they're just going to send relkin right there, and that bumper ledge is going to continue to be just gone to them.
It's 20 seconds to go look and see what that is, and if they take that 20 seconds and look to see fire rods there, and they're going to go poop.
Yeah, I think they'll send relkin up the mountain with his hook shot.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you gotta turn in the frog first. Relkin remembering that when he opens into that broken down house. Just unfortunately for I Like Big Boots, they're gonna be super, super behind.
Yeah, meanwhile, not a lot to talk about on Triple Dino Disaster side. Just some high-level execution with some low-level weapon configuration.
And the only question for Triple Dino Disaster is, do you go out of your way for anything that is more than 10 seconds to find a sword or silvers just to make your Ganon climb and fight that much easier?
I can't imagine they would. They still kind of have to feel like they're... Like, there were some gross item locations in this seed that I Like Big Boots has made more gross, but I don't think there's anything that was so brutal that they can feel like they're wildly ahead at this point.
Purple chest hookshot to cape in hookshot cave to fire rod on bumper with boots on Argus is pretty gross.
It is, but those are things that you would expect. Like, you would expect the opposing team to spread out and do all, like, there's so many checks that were in West Dark World, which they had access to at 10 minutes. So it is hard to assume that what has happened for I Like Big Boots has happened if you're in iiYoshii or Shareen's seat. I just can't imagine they're going to take too much time out of their way to look for another sword or a bow.
Yeah, things like Spike Cave, if they didn't check it the first time up the mountain, they're definitely going to orphan. They're not going to full clear mire here. That makes a lot of sense. You still have a whole bunch of stuff in front of you, like Turtle Rock, which is quite linear. You're going to have 22 checks at most going up in the GT basement, and then you have 4 checks on the climb up. There's lots of space here to find yourself an upgraded weapon or two.
Yeah, I would not suspect that they would do Laser Bridge if they don't have to, and they may pick up a chest or two upstairs in GT, but that's going to be it.
As we get Ganon's Gone Wild going through their Argus fight, gonna find the boots on our popcorn friend here momentarily. Argus more of a question of when, not if. Up, and there's that tempered sword in the spike chest of Mire. Shareen's gonna let Yoshi have that information saying, hey, Big Key's in a bad location anyway, just go pick up the tempered sword and you're gonna be fine. Shareen's gonna literally be opening up no other chests in this scene other than looking for Big Keys. Ooh, nice wall clip there from Shareen to skip on over and dodging about 4 seconds of dashing. As Yoshi hammer smacks that Helmosaur. I would imagine Yoshi goes to Mire first, gets that upgraded sword, and then just completes the rest of the seed after Helmosaur. Just makes your Cold Stare fight that much easier, just makes everything else that much easier.
Yeah, there's a really big difference in the Cold Stare and Trinex fights with the Tempered Sword versus Master. So yeah, you're definitely going to see him grab that sword first.
And as Ganon's Gone Wild is going to go get their first flute for their team. Unfortunately, that flute's going to unlock absolutely nothing but a sword upgrade for you. As Shareen tried to do the spooky glitch on the torch. Fortunately, sometimes that hit just doesn't register. And then you get put into a bunny sprite, and then you're just like, nope, I'm just going to go hit the switch. And as expected, Yoshi's heading right into Mire to go get that sword upgrade to make that Cold Stare fight just that much easier.
Shareen choosing to use spins here with the cape. I think I would prefer just to do dashes or slashes. If you slash fast enough with that cape, the magic meter doesn't drain as fast with the cape on, because it only drains when you're not actually doing anything. This is the same reason that you can like grab a wall and not have your magic meter drain.
But with that, you do get a little bit of lag, so with the spins, they do double the damage, and they do a wider area. So if you kind of sit right off center just a bit, you can just cleave with 2 spins to iiBoys pretty easily. Either way, when it comes to Victory's fights, whatever is most effective for you, go ahead and do it, because eyes are not fun to kill.
Yeah, that boss does a ton of damage if you let that fight get out of control.
As Relkin and Ganon's Gone Wild are cleaning up some shared dungeons. Relkin's about to get their boots. Just unfortunate that we know where their progression's at. It's on Bumper Cave, and it's in Hookshot Cave. As they are looking for a fire rod.
Yeah, this is one of those seeds that if it was in a daily or a ladder race, you'd see a lot of comments on it. Made a lot easier, not necessarily easier, but a lot more friendly with this co-op mode.
Shareen's cleaning up their land molas. Ganon's Gone Wild right behind them. Yoshi's finishing out Meyer here. Grab that tempered sword. And outside of complete disaster, triple dino disaster, ironically, have a very solid lead.
Yeah, I think at this point we'd probably need like 10 or 15 dino disasters to make this a race.
One might say apocalyptic.
So yeah, Shareen just has Turtle Rock left and Pod. Make a quick cleanup of Pod here. Yoshi has Ice and Pod. Ice being a super quick dungeon to clean up as well with King of Samaria.
Yeah, I would imagine that they're going to be hitting Turtle Rock within a minute of each other. And what's nice is this was a forced in logic Aga 1 seed with the hammer being on Hylian Island and the flippers in Pod. But that just means as soon as you're done with your GT climb, you can go ahead and just kill a pig and get done with this seed.
Yeah, and Shareen, already having visited Pod as was required by the seed, already has a big key. Already has one small, so it'll be straight to the back.
As I like Big Boots are doing their boots checks. Fortunately, it's going to net them absolutely nothing. As they're going to be activating their flutes near simultaneously. Everyone get your salutes out for our final space ducks. They are magical and majestical. Transport you through both time and space.
And meanwhile, Relkin did find silvers in King's Tomb. We know that Yoshi and Shareen are not going to have those for Ganon's Tower Climb. Not that they need them.
Yeah, Tempered Sword basically eliminated anything else that they would need. You can do everything with Master Sword too. I would imagine they're more than skilled enough to do so. But as soon as you get that orange sword, you're just like, alright, that's 12 smacks, 12 smacks. Smack, 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 spins. You're going to have to spin with Master Sword anyway. And you just eliminated half of your work. As Ganon's Gone Wild is heading down the mountain. I don't know what check he's looking for.
This may be a look at Bumper Ledge finally for him. Or a cleanup of Skullwoods. Nope, heading east to,
can't do
I was
much
going to go
with
with the silvers.
Can't do much with Skullwoods until you get that fire rod. They've already
Yeah,
checked.
that's right. Yep.
They've already checked that.
Yep. Great seed.
So, I don't know what silvers do for him at this point. Make sure Armos fight a little faster. Make sure Meyer fight a little faster.
Yeah, it's going to head to Meyer. It's going to get this tempered sword.
Still not going to help him out. They're still
Nope.
looking for a fire rod, and we know where that fire rod's at, and it's nowhere close to where they're going.
Yeah, meanwhile, Shareen with an easy peasy Helmosaur King. Yoshi about to drop in on Cold Stare. With Tempered Sword, Cold Stare becomes much less of a problem. And Shareen getting one of those dino disasters, the Dead Rocks.
Oh, they're jerks. Always jerks, as that's just gonna mean Yoshi gets to get even closer to our simultaneous dinosaur door openings over on the Triple Dino Disasters side. How much more alliteration can I do with D words using the right-hand side of my screen? I don't know!
Perhaps don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna dodge it pretty well. Yeah, they don't even know they need kit because neither one of them have checked to see what's on Bumper Ledge. Sometimes information is way more valuable than density of checks. Sometimes density of checks is way more valuable than information. Just so happens this seed was a jerk and you needed both.
Yeah, I would imagine after Ganon's Gone Wild finds just the sword in here, that someone's gonna head up Death Mountain and check out Hookshot Cave. That they have 4 items left up there that they haven't looked at, and unfortunately for them today, one of them is one that they need.
As Ganon's Gone Wild is gonna have to swing with his Master Sword here. He throws one worm sack and forgot, oh, Ice Rod doesn't kill those. Dashed into him and finished out that second room of Mire. As we get our first look into Turtle Rock, our triple dino disasters are hoping for 3 small keys and a big key. Unfortunately, that's a map in the first one, so we're going to see additional checks over on the right-hand side for Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock itself is more than likely very, very linear for you, so really not that much of a time sink.
Yeah, you want the dream of the 3 small keys in front, so you just don't ever have to even think about what chests you need to open. But that's not going to happen today with that map and the map at the compass chest. Nice cane dash from Shareen, little swag strats.
I always love the cane strats.
We'll get to skip that lava chest. Does end up eating a roller here, but still plenty of health.
Yeah, I like mirroring out of that room. You get yourself a full magic refill coming back to the entrance, and it's really not that much difference in time. You get to reset that room in case that red skull was super aggro on you, and you just don't have to deal with it. Those red skulls are tough to kill.
Yeah, you can even grab the heart that's in that pot right before the door and not lose any health to the hook-shotting.
Nice chomp room here. Using that iframe from the peg to walk on through. As Ganon's Gone Wild has found their sword. Trying to do a bonk here to get on through. There we go. Nicely done.
And Yoshi, smartly, having that half magic, is just going to use some of his cape invulnerability to get through that chain chomp room. On Green Mail, those chain chomps do 4 hearts of health, and Yoshi only has 9 total.
Yeah, those chomps are not friendly at all. They move randomly until they decide that they want to attack you, and they attack from both sides, and it's a nightmare. And Shareen takes care of that Pokey to get the small key, says, I don't care about getting hit or being turned into a bunny. In fact, I like being a bunny. Look at how fluffy I am. Oh, I'm just a Shy Guy still.
Yeah, that Shy Guy bunny sprite is very good.
As Yoshi and Shareen are essentially a room, maybe a room and a half apart from one another. As we're going to be getting near simultaneous Misery Mire clears from I Like Big Boots. Unfortunately, by the time they finish Mire, their opponents are going to be going into GT unless Yoshi eats a death.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Not the end of the world. They have plenty of time, but I can't imagine Yoshi's happy that happened, that's for sure.
Yeah, sometimes Turtle Rock is a jerk.
Yeah, it's no joke when Green Mail, like, the Pokies deal 4 hearts of damage, Chain Chomps deal 4 hearts of damage. There are a lot of places...
do 3.
Yeah, rollers do 3. There are a lot of places where your health can decrease very quickly. Lasers do 3.
Shareen's not going to have that issue. They have Mirror Shield. But poor Yoshi's going to be super squishy going through Laser Bridge if they need to go through Laser Bridge, which it looks like they're going to have to do, not having a small key in that first Laser Bridge. Fortunately, that small key is right in the first chest here on the right-hand side. So
yeah, and that works out nicely. If there had been there's a possibility there was no small key on Laser Bridge because they skipped Lava Chest, and if the small keys were in both Lava Chest and the big chest, there just wouldn't be anything there. And then if that happened, they could have just sent Yoshi through and grabbed that big chest. So It's going to work out either way for him. Thankfully for Shareen that there was a key there.
Fire Rod is on Bumper Cave, and the Cape is in Hookshot Cave, where you can't hover through because our boots are hookshot locked. So they orphaned off the hookshot and purple chests until their last location. It was quite literally the last thing they had to check. Oof, and Relkin taking a death to Vitreous. No fairy, gonna have to climb back down through Misery Mire to complete it.
That one is surprising. Having those silver arrows usually makes the Vidrius fight pretty painless, but an unfortunate death there for Relkin.
Shareen is the first one to clear out Turtle Rock, which means it's time to play a very special game called our GT Big Key Guessing Game. 1 through 22. Where do you think that GT Big Key is going to be? Our winner today wins our fabulous internet points. Get your guesses into chat now.
Who doesn't like internet points, Wimpy?
Oh, everyone loves internet points. My normal guess is 14, which is normally either Bob's chest or the first chest in randomizer room. Where do you think it's going to be, James?
I think we're going to see it at or near the vanilla spot in this one. In that room after Armos Nights.
As we see Shreen going left first, our first check is going to be Bob's torch. Let's see what we find. We find a compass. Yes, all of our runners have done Crystal Tower. Our flippers were in Pod, and our hammer was on Hylian Island. None of our runners used any splash deletion to get that hammer, as ganonsgonewild is going to find the cape and go, oh, what is this cape good for? Absolutely, oh. As we find Butter Sword inside of our Dark Magician room. Our big key was number 2. Let's see who won. Our winner today is Yonker's wife, who guessed the lowest at number 5 and wins today 13 magical internet points that are worth absolutely diddly poop.
Not only helping us out with the restream, but getting those valuable internet points.
Yeah, she's doing the tracking. Once again, thank you very much to our restreamer, Math Girl, Reg, and Yonker's wife for the tracking. You can follow our runners at hitting the !R command inside of Twitch chat. You'll see links to their personal Twitch pages. You can do the same thing for your commentating team by hitting the !C command. That gives you my link, that gives you James's link, that gives you our trackers and our restreamer, their links as well. Go ahead and give us a follow. I'm sure all of us run randomizer for Link to the Past or Link to the Past speedruns or Zelda, anything, all over our channels all of the time. So now the question becomes, when does Ganon go and get that fire rod?
Yeah, again, Ganon's gonna make a quick dip into Turtle Rock to see if A, how far he could go in, and B, if the fire rod was just waiting for him. But that first chest just has the map in it, so not know where they can go for that. So ganonsgonewild gonna make a beeline here to Bumper Ledge, as that's got to be the only thing they have left on their tracker, and we'll see the sad tale.
Probably some frustration swipes, maybe a dash into the wall, just bonking your head against it, just being angry.
Yeah, I think you save that for once you get up there, because those murder dactyls don't care about your mental condition. They'll kill you no matter what.
Hence the dactyl part. Oops, I mean the murder part. As we see Shareen going through the second torch room here in the GT climb. With Gold Sword, this is near fait accompli. It just melts through everything. I'm gonna have Moldorm 2 here to kill.
Yeah, I didn't even see where they found Gold Sword at. Was that in Turtle Rock, or is that alongside the big key?
That is in the Dark Magician's room. Big key is bottom left, Gold Sword is upper left, and there's a key in the top right. And once Shareen got all of those items, it was, oh, awesome. Nice.
Ah, so the rich get richer is what you're saying.
Yep. There was no disaster for our dinosaurs in the number of 3. Not 2, not 4, but the number 3 today. As we get our first Aga 2 fight here from Shareen. Aga himself, 2 shadows, lots of energy balls and magical balls being thrown your way. So that looks like a nice triple. It was at least double. We don't have audio for Shareen, so I can't tell. That's at least 3, maybe 4. Gets another nice setup here. Yeah, that first one was a triple as Shareen takes down Aga 2 with the 312, my favorite beer, and my home city's area code.
Yeah, the 3-cycle Agnum 2 fight is, it's uncommon, but it's really nice when you can get it. At this point, the only thing that Triple Dino Disaster have to worry about, I mean, they can't really know where their opponents, I like Big Boots, are in this race. But the only thing they have to worry about here is Yoshi is on 9 hearts in green mail. I don't know if Yoshi still has his blue potion from the start of the seed. Yoshi's a great runner. I wouldn't suspect anything to happen, but that Ganon fight can get out of hand at times. And with 9 hearts, that's only 2 hits he can absorb.
That Gold Sword, if you picked it up, makes that significantly easier. You can be lots of safe because you're going to be pushing phase 1 and 2 in just one single cycle. With half magic, he has cape. I would imagine this isn't going to be too much of an issue until phase 4, where you got to get up close and personal with the pig to give him hugs with your sword.
Yeah, at that point, though, your fire bats are only doing 2 damage instead of 4. And as long as you don't get too friendly with Ganon, you shouldn't have any issues at that point.
As we see Ganon's Gone Wild and Relkin cleaning up the rest of their dungeons, Relkin's going to have to go up the mountain to get the cape, to get the fire rod, to get to Skullwoods. Then make a climb back up the mountain to go clear Turtle Rock and GT. I would imagine by that time, Shareen and Yoshi are going to be well finished with their pig fight. As we are in phase 4 for Shareen. The only real concern for Shareen here is magic number. Should you miss a couple of spins, that's going to really crunch how much magic you have left in reserve. They do have the lamp, which helps a lot. Did succeed in the torch glitch here. Sets up for a nice triple cycle here.
Yeah, Yoshi showing off the tempered 1-and-1 strats with a series of wonderful poke dashes. Does get breathed on by that bat and is down to 3 hearts.
As Shareen is the first runner in the seed to finish out Ganon, making him extinct at an official time in Race Time GT at 1 hour, 27 minutes, 40 seconds. His partner not far behind. Their partner, excuse me, could be a lovely lady or a non-binary identifying person. Don't want to be rude.
Yeah, so Yoshi here in phase 4 can take 1 hit from these bats without issue. Did get the torch glitch, has half magic, shouldn't have any problem here.
Going on through. As we see our dinosaur friend clearing out the pig. A couple more spins here is going to do it for Yoshi. Setting up another triple cycle here. A little close to the pig there. Don't want to take a hug here. Hugs are bad, especially from a pig. You want to be the one initializing those hugs. And down goes that pig for double iiYoshii.
Yoshi getting the kill there across this bridge, and that will be GG's for Triple Dino Disaster. They will have both finished, and we'll get that official time in just a moment. But get those GG's in chat out for Yoshi and Shareen. Triple Dino Disaster picking up another win this week, moving on to 6 points in the league. I Like Big Boots are going to sit at 0 and move on to week 2.
As Yoshi finishes with an official time in racetime.gg at 1 hour 29 minutes 11 seconds, and with that, Ganon's Gone Wild and Relkin see the result and say, well, we have 3 dungeons left, we have 2 dungeons left, plus GT, plus 2 mountain climbs. No thank you, and go ahead and concede this race. GG's to I Like Big Boots, and they're very competitive, if not horribly randoed on seed routing. We'll get some of our runners in here as we got Ganon's Gone Wild, Shareen, Relkin in here with us. GG's to all of you in this race. Our real big question is for Ganon's Gone Wild and Relkin. Purple chest and what happened?
Well, we didn't find the mirror, so it's a gigantic pain to go back for the purple chest without the mirror. And since I already did the smith, we would have to go back literally basically for that one check. So I don't know. It's just one check that got open because
and knowing where the hammer was, I was like, I'm just gonna go straight for the hammer and do some hammer stuff. So once I got the mirror, I stayed and went straight for the hammer.
Well, see, I understand that, and I would get that routing if Relkin, you didn't go up and do hammer pegs and K45 and the rest of that loop with the tablets. Purple chest was sitting right there for you to grab and loop in with that. What was your decision making in leaving that orphaned when you went back the second time to do that loop?
I just wanted to double down on what GGW was thinking and just forget about purple chest.
Okay.
I mean, like he could have done it, but it's also just one check, and we had a decent amount of stuff available to us. I mean, none of it was great, but it's just, I don't know, like. We basically got screwed by RNG as hard as you possibly could in the seed. Because at that point, we had probably already lost anyway, even if we did purple chest, because they probably just did the smith chain with mirror, I'm guessing. And so we were already just massively inefficient, like routing way behind. So, at some point, you just have to cut your losses and just hope that it's not there.
Yeah, and Ganon's Gone Wild, you were the first one to go find those flippers in pod, which led you right to the hammer. My question for Shareen here is, did you guys know the hammer was on Hylian Island, or was that just more, I'm doing flipper checks now, I'll grab the island and head back over into the fairy fountain from there?
We knew. Yoshi told me it was there early, so like part of our routing was that we knew flippers and mirror were both going to be required for hammer. So as far as our mitts for Dark World access was concerned, we knew we were hunting 2 items. So that kind of just played into like how we routed the Dark World. And then yeah, mirror is just a broken item, especially when it locks purple chest, K45. We get the flute knowledge, like it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, and you guys ended up finding that mirror super early with how you guys routed Dark World. One went into Skullwoods, one went into the village. When you're deciding this in a co-op on how to split that up, you could have gone 3 different ways. You could have gone village down into South Shore from there and left Skullwoods. You could have done what you guys did, which was Thiefstown Skullwoods into the south. What kind of made you decide into going, okay, we're going to dip these 2 dungeons first and then head south?
So the big thing there, like I said, knowing where the hammer is, knowing it's mirror and flipper locked, you want to have your mirror and flippers by the time you get to Hype Cave. In a normal situation, when you don't know where the hammer is, you might not, because maybe it's in pod. But once you know you want to get that flipper in the mirror, it's like, okay, let's do all the north stuff first so that everything's out of the way by the time we get down there. That way we increase our chances of getting mirror and or flippers. And so, that's just how it worked. And then, mirror just obviously made it perfect. And then we both kind of followed each other to the mountain. And then once Aga was in play, we're like, okay, now we could combo pod in Eastern. We can set up a Pyramid Fairy play. And it kind of just went into like an efficient full clear type situation where we really just got to do everything smoothly.
Now, on that earlier part of the routing, this is for our runners from I Like Big Boots. You guys found those gloves super early along with the Moon Pearl. Was there any more really competing and going? Is there anything more in the Light World we want to check before hitting Dark World and splitting it up? Or was it more we're committed to Dark World and going forward with that?
I'm not sure if you mean the gloves or the mitts, because basically our thought process, I think, was that we thought it was an Agaseed, and then we found the mitts basically the second to last possible location that we actually had available to check, and we had already done Eastern, and I found a sword there, so we had Master Sword, so finding that was actually a surprise. So one of us, I did the Dark World, and then relkin did Aga. So we split it up that way. And then I decided to skip the front of Skull Woods because I felt like we were behind because we both basically are double dipping Eastern for fun. So yeah, that's why that's like why our early game routing worked out the way it did.
All right. Well, going forward in the race season, is there any weak settings or any opponents you guys are looking forward to racing?
I don't care. I just want to get some wins.
How about you, Shareen or relkin?
There's a lot of fun weeks ahead. I think almost every week is going to be a fun, close matchup. I know next week we're playing the Last Locationers. Looking forward to that. We play the Spoilers the week after. Looking forward to that. The Invitational is crazy, and I'm loving it so far. I mean, can't complain.
Perfect. Well, GG's to Triple Dino Disaster, who made this seed extinct in a very quick time. And GG's to I Like Big Boots on putting up a very competitive race. And good luck going forward to all of you racers in the future. Just to let you know, there are more races coming up here on the Speed Gaming Network channels and the ALTTPR League channels as well. On Speed Gaming 2, coming up in the Invitational League at 5:10 Eastern, so in a little less than an hour, we have a matchup between Komodo Hypers and Air 216. That race is going to be super competitive. Make sure you check that out. And we have a few more races going on in the Open League today. This is the last day for Week 1, so co-op all dungeons. If you love this seed setting, make sure you go ahead and check that out across the Speed Gaming and the ALTTPR League network worth of channels. I want to thank James FX for doing co-commentating, our wonderful trackers Reg and Yonker's wife, and our fabulous restreamer MathGirl718 for providing us with the broadcast today. James, any final thoughts?
No, it's gonna be. It's sad to see co-op week go away. Get back in week 4 for the spoiler log co-piloting, and these modes, like I said before, are my favorite in the league setting, where decision making pays off just as much as execution. And we saw that today in spades with how Triple Dino Disaster decided to route this seed out. So yeah, I'm super excited for what we got coming up. There's just great matches across the schedule all season long. So keep tuned in and keep watching. You're going to see a lot of great rando.
All right. Well, thank you very much for you guys in our Twitch chat for joining us for this race. For my co-commentator James F&X, and for myself, Worldwide Wimpy, you guys have yourself a good rest of your rando weekend.